This is the Ehud V2. Let's pop this box open, take a look at what you get. Starting out on the outside of the box, you'll see our setup guide with a QR code. You can scan that with your phone. It'll take you to our website, and we have just some more resources, some more information on how to run this blade. Even if you've ran blades before, it's super helpful, so I'd highly encourage you to check that out. Opening it up here, you'll see the live blade with the sheath and the discrete carry concepts clip. All that comes in your package, as well as inside this white box, you have your trainer, which is included as well. Starting out with the Ehud V2 live blade, it's about a 7-inch overall length package with a 2.9-inch cutting edge. That leaves about 4 inches behind that for our handle. It's 14C 28N blade steel. That's a stainless steel. And then on top of that, we have a DLC coating. That's the black coating. So between the stainless steel and the DLC coating, we have really good corrosion resistance on this blade, which makes it nice and easy to take care of. You'll also notice that it's a recurve blade, meaning this cutting edge is on the inside rather than it being like traditionally on the outside. Why we like this is after we stab in, as we pull through, it's going to want to collect material and pull it towards the cutting edge, and that's going to help keep the blade inside as we pull through. Whereas if it was on this other side, it could potentially push that material away as we're pulling through and want to knock the blade or push the blade out of the material. One problem you sometimes get with a recurve blade though is this tip gets too far down and then you're not able to stab in. You end up hitting the top and almost bouncing off. The way we combated that is by taking this tip and pulling it back a bit. So what you'll notice is the tip is in line with these bolts or the center of the handle. And same thing with it when it's in my hand here. If you look from my knuckles straight down, you'll see the tip of that blade is straight in line. That means we can take it and stab in just like you'd be able to with a straight blade, but you still get that benefit of the recurve edge, collecting material and keeping the blade inside as we pull through. Moving back from there, we have a black G10 handle scales. Those have a diamond knurled texture on them. So they're nice and grippy. They're not super rough on your skin, but you can really get down on them and your hand's not gonna slip off of it. It feels similar to what you would feel on a barbell at the gym, that knurling pattern that's going around it. Going over some features on the handle here. First, we'll talk about this wave feature right here. If you notice, right where my fingers go into my hand, that's gonna line up right with that wave feature. Now when I wrap my hand around it, it's gonna make it very hard for my hand to slide down the blade or for this blade to get turned in my hand. That's super helpful. It allows us to keep a small profile without that blade being able to roll in your hand very easily. And then moving back from there, we have our flag on the back. This is gonna help with extraction out of the sheath. So it allows us to sit it a little bit deeper down into the sheath. We can get our finger in there and help extract it from the sheath. Same thing, if you're going into a hammer grip, your pinky would come in at that flag and just gonna help bring it out. The other thing is it's gonna help with retention. So it's gonna help not let somebody pull this out of your hand because that flag is gonna help lock it in. And the other thing, if you are trying to extract it, you get the knife stuck in bone or in a joint, that flag there is gonna help keep your hand from sliding off the back when we're trying to remove it. We do really like an ice pick grip, point down and then taking our thumb and capping it over the top. You'll see we have a nice flat section on the back of that flag, and that's for your thumb to go. Make sure your hand doesn't go for a ride down that blade if you were to hit something. Moving on to our trainer, it's a nice light blue color. This signifies that it's a training tool and not a live weapon. And then we've taken all of the edges and rounded them all over. So it's nice and soft. You still do have to be careful with a training partner, but you can work on a training partner or on a training dummy, and it's gonna be nice and easy on your dummies as well. All the edges are rounded and rounded over, so it's nice and soft. This is pretty much a one-to-one replica of our live blade. The only differences are it's gonna be a little bit lighter because the actual blade part is made out of G10 rather than steel, but the handle is the exact same. It's the same G10 with the same diamond knurling pattern. So that's gonna feel the exact same. Like I said, the weight's just a little bit different. Colors, obviously different. Only other difference between the live blade and the training blade is it is a bit shorter, about 1/2 inch. One reason for that is because that's how we just round the tip over and make it a little wider so it's safer. But the other nice thing with that is if you're working with a partner or with a training dummy, once the tip hits, you'll know you're actually about 1/2 inch in already. So we want to keep driving that through the rest of the way. That's kind of helpful in your training. Finishing up with the sheath, this is our Ehud V2 sheath. It's super nice, it's super compact. It's a one-piece 3D printed part, and it comes with this discrete carry concepts clip on it. Some features of the sheath are it fits both the live blade and the training blade, and it also fits them both in either direction. So it doesn't matter if you're left-handed or you're right-handed, it's gonna fit both of them, both directions. This is really nice. You can throw your sheath on, you can throw your training blade in, get a few reps in before you walk out the door, and then take it out, throw your live blade in without ever taking your sheath off, and now you're good to go. Walk out the door, go on with your day. Some other features with this sheath, this discreet carry concepts clip is tuckable, so there's space back there. You could put this behind your belt or over your belt and then tuck a shirt in behind it. And the clip is also able to be canted. So I can take a screwdriver here, loosen this top screw just a bit, and I can can it off to the side or over to the other side, and then you can crank that down and it'll stay right there. And now the blade's sitting off to an angle. It'd be the same thing if we went the other way, just like this. And this is really how I like to run the Ehud V2. So you could run this over top of your belt and you will get a bit of a cant just from how that clip is set up. I actually like to run it behind my belt on my pants, and I'll run it up more of an angle like this. So I keep the clip canted and then I'll run it like this. This makes it so I can bend over top of it. It's a little bit more comfortable bending over at the waistline on top of this. And also there's less below the waistline, so I can get my knees up. That way you can run, jump, fight, whatever you need to do with this on. These will come with a discreet carry concepts Mod 4 shorty in 1.75 inch length. So that'll work with a 1.75 inch belt. It'll also work with an 1.5 inch belt. We went with the 1.75 just because it gives you a little bit more versatility. But if you wanted to take this off and you really wanted to run the 1.5 on, you could as well. It's not going to change anything as far as ride height goes. So differences between the V2 and the V1 Ehuds. First is going to be our surface finish. So it's still that 14C28N blade steel, but now we have a harder finish on that, less likely to wear off. Another difference is going to be this flag. So as you can see on the V2, we've rounded this flag over just a little bit more. It was a little bit more pointy on the V1. Doesn't change at all how it feels in your hand, but it is a little bit more comfortable to carry because there's less of a point to potentially dig into your body. Last difference is going to be the weight. The V2 is slightly lighter as we've taken a pocket out from underneath of the handle scales. We took a pocket out of the actual steel. It's still nice and strong, but it is just a little bit lighter. Differences between the V1 trainer and the V2 trainer. As you can maybe tell, maybe not tell, we went with a little bit brighter of a blue just to help with easier identification that it's a safety tool, that it's a training tool. And then we have rounded out these edges just a little bit more. We did it on the V1, but we took it even further on the V2 just to make it a little bit softer, a little bit safer. And then the big difference between the V1 and the V2 is going to be the sheath. Because we went from a Kydex 2-piece sheath to a 3D printed 1-piece sheath, we've made it a lot narrower. I'm going to try to line these up so you can see. We took out a lot of space off of the side where that hardware is. We still have about the same ride height, same height and length in the front and the back. Clips are about the same height. So everything's pretty much the same, except it's way narrower. It's a lot more comfortable. You can carry this around all day and not really notice you have it. Another thing is you can take the clip off of this one, which you couldn't on the V1, so you can replace it if something were to happen with your clips, or if you wanted to try out a different ride height or a different size clip. And it's also tuckable. So again, you can tuck your shirt back behind this clip, where on the V1, you cannot do that. The nice thing is we have designed these so that they're backwards compatible with the V1. So here's a V1 trainer, and it goes in to the V2 sheath. And here is a live blade of the V1, and it also goes into this V2 sheath. So if you already have a V1 and you want to upgrade your sheath, we'll have these for sale separately, and they'll take your V1s. The dimensions, at least as far as what's down in the sheath, are all completely the same, so it's not a big deal at all. We really wanted to make these backwards compatible, and we're happy to say that we have. So that's everything you get in your Ehud V2 package: live blade, training blade, sheath, and discreet carry concepts clip. I'm super excited about this. I think you guys are gonna love this as much as I do. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.